Hello my dear friends, here I am again in 2022. I hope that all of you who sent me your picture last year, which I actually looked at and blessed, are having a blast of a year. So today is kind of a special day for me because I am starting everything new. New software, new hardware, new technology here. You will see as we go. I'm using actually Keynote to do this whole video, no other software involved. The Keynote is the presentation software by Apple, like PowerPoint. So what I'm going to do is I decided to publish the book first on 3 videos. The book is ready. But before I publish it as a book, I'm going to do 3 videos, of which this is the first one, and the whole book will be in those 3 videos. Now, this is not just some philosophical theories, which it is that too, but there is a lot of practical, I would say, tools that you can use in your life to really improve your reality, especially in this video here. I think that you are going to watch it 10 times and then realize that you have to watch it again. It's quite has many layers that you may not see the first time. And when you start to grasp the concept of this, all these 3 videos, you will be able to change your experience of reality profoundly. The book itself, I think, will be available sometimes in April. It doesn't matter if you are trying to manifest using reality transurfing or Neville Goddard or any other books and videos. This particular video will help you tremendously because I actually will show you how these things work and why they work in pictures. So I hope you really get out of it as much as I put into it, because I spent the last few weeks making this video. All right, so let's just go quickly over what is in the 3 videos that constitute the book, and then we'll go to our first topic. So I'm going to switch you over here to my first slide. There we go. So as you remember, and if you don't, it's right here. The book is called From Nothingness to Infinity and Everything in Between. And then also what science doesn't know and the book didn't want to tell you, because it wanted you to figure it out by yourself. And this is what we are doing here. So in the first video, which is this video, we will establish and explain the components of our reality and how they manifest in our daily lives and how you can use it. But this is also the foundation for the whole book and all the other videos, because once you understand how everything is placed, where and why and what does it do, it will make a big difference. You will understand the rest because it's quite deep. In the second video, video 2, we will be asking all the big questions and answering them. For example, how and why did it all start? By who or what or whom? Or and what was the master plan of that whom? And where are we in that plan today? Why is there a secret of creation? And that's the secret I'm always talking about. Now I call it a secret of creation because it started when this whole thing started. That secret was generated because there was no other way, and it was hidden in plain sight. That's why we cannot see it. and also what makes it the trigger to start a new reality. Okay? Now in video number 3, we will actually deal with that secret and take it apart and explain why it happened and where it is and what does it do. And at the end, I will tell you what it is, and we will all together pull that trigger. And the rest is going to be history. All right. So today in part 1, we will look at this universe from the outside. Because you see, when you are in a box or in a room, you cannot see what it is. You can only see the inside of it. And this is where we are in this reality. So what we are going to do is going to look at it from outside. We're not going to fly on a rocket, but we will do it through our imagination, knowledge, assumptions, ideas, and so on, okay? By the end of part 3, as I said before, we'll be able to change this reality and start a new one. Yeah, like I said, the rest will be history. And don't be fooled by the perceived simplicity of these presentations. Because when your mind unpacks it, there will be more than was ever known. Okay, that's why I said you have to watch it maybe 10 times. So here we will start with the 4 boundaries of our reality, which are, by the way, all singularities. I did talk about it in 1 or 2 of my videos, the 4 boundaries, but here we will actually go into the details and take it all apart. Okay? So, before we start, I just want to say something personal. And what I wrote here is: the messenger who spreads the knowledge, which is me in this case, doesn't carry any power. The power is in the knowledge, and that knowledge will bring the desired results. Or, as Vadim Zeland says, he's the author of Reality Transurfing, for those that don't know, he says on his website, he says, the secret itself that is hidden only in as much as it lies on the surface is so great that the personality of its bearer ceases to be relevant. Okay? So, this is kind of a summary of the next 3 or 4 slides. And we are talking about those 4 boundaries. So this reality we live in, okay, has 4 perceived boundaries. And the reason I'm looking that way is because this is where the slide is. Actually, there's a slide here too, so I can look into the camera. Okay, good. So it has 4 perceived boundaries. And when I say perceived, because in my opinion, this whole reality is just a dream, or it's only in our mind. It doesn't really exist. That's why the atom, for example, is 99.9% empty, and so on, okay? So the 4 boundaries are divided into 2 sets of 2. The first 2 are boundaries that are based on time. They are boundaries in time, and they are our birth and our death. Okay? The other 2 boundaries, okay, I went in the wrong order. So the first one, okay. The other 2 boundaries are the infinity of space and the infinity of the small, the infinity of the particles that make everything. Because those particles, we can dig into them for the next 1,000 years and we'll always find something smaller. Okay? Your consciousness is outside of those boundaries, as you will see soon in the slides. Outer intention happens when you delegate the manifesting to that consciousness which is outside of this reality. There is no matter where, and I put where in brackets here, in quotation marks, because there is cannot be where if it's nothingness, but there is no matter where the consciousness is. It is nothingness. Everything your consciousness experiences is through your avatar. And this is what you see right now here on the video. That's my avatar. Except out-of-body experiences and dreams. So when a person like has out-of-body experience, say they're being operated on and they are unconscious, but then they say, oh, I was seeing everything from above, is because you see it from your consciousness. It does not need eyes to see it. And dreams are dreamed by the consciousness, okay? Not by your avatar. The avatar and the consciousness can communicate only through feelings. That's the whole, one of the secrets of this universe, is that you cannot communicate with your consciousness. And it cannot tell you what to do. It can only do it by feelings, or make you ill, or make you do something to get your attention, okay? And this is what we call the sixth sense. Okay, so here is the first boundary, and this is that boundary that goes along what we call time, right? So from birth to death, there's those two red lines you can never cross. Those are basically, I forgot what the term was. I used it at the beginning. Anyway, next are the two boundaries in space. Okay, so at the top you have the infinity of the universe. You can never peek through it. You can never go over it, because even if we had a spaceship that can go to the edge of the universe, unfortunately the universe is expanding faster than the speed of light. So there is no way to reach the edge of the universe. And it's designed that way on purpose. And then at the bottom you can see there's the infinity of the small, what we call the quantum, or the quanta, which is the smallest part that still can be observed or theorized. And we can never cross those two boundaries. So together, like you will see in the next slide, together they make that box that's called our reality, and we cannot get out of it. But you see, this is the avatar. Our consciousness is not in this reality. Our consciousness, like I said before, it's outside. So you see in this slide, you can see, I don't know if you can see the cursor, maybe. So we have time, actually, as you can see here on that line. Time is not something dynamic. As I said in my video, what is time? Time is just a ruler. And in this case, I marked the first 3 years, right? So reality is going through that ruler, and this is how we perceive time. Time doesn't move. Time is just a ruler, okay? Reality, by changing continuously, creates the illusion of time, right? Because you go to sleep, reality has evening, then has night, and then there is morning, and you wake up and you think that maybe 8 hours passed. But in what really happened is reality changed, okay? And you perceive that as time. All right. So perception of time passage is created only by the constant change in reality. Reality is projected to you just like the virtual reality in Facebook Oculus. Now it's becoming now quite popular. I actually tried one of those, and when you put it on your head, you are in what they call the metaverse, right? And it's a totally different reality. And this reality here is very, very similar, except you don't have to put your Oculus on. It's on you all the time. It's the reason you have to breathe, because that way it keeps you in there. Like if you don't breathe for a minute or two, you are gone. And this is the purpose of breathing. It's not for the oxygen. Now, when your consciousness disconnects partially from the avatar, it feels like out-of-body experience, okay? And sleeping is exactly the same thing. When you sleep, you actually give your consciousness a break, so it doesn't have to deal with the avatar for that time while you are sleeping. The dreams are generated in the consciousness. They are not in the avatar. And one reasons why sometimes people see the relatives or other unnatural phenomenon in their sleep is because out there in nothingness, where our consciousness is, everything is connected. Okay, it all swims in the same pool. When the consciousness disconnects completely from the avatar, then we are basically dead, and all that's left of us is the consciousness. Here we are no more. Now the consciousness can now relive any experience it had with the avatar, but cannot create new experiences until it acquires a new avatar, at which time it forgets that life. Okay, and we will discuss that more in the coming slides about previous lives and why that happens. Okay, so just to recap, this is the slide we watched before. You can look at it again and try to remember what's in it, because we'll discuss this concept through the whole video here. Now, there is a number of concepts or ideas that are derived from this model, okay? For example, as I said before, the consciousness can communicate with you only through feelings. And when the consciousness doesn't like what you do in life, because this is not where your skills are, or this is not what you actually can do best, then it will make you ill. Now, if you don't improve or change the way the consciousness wants, eventually you will be gone. Okay, that's why, for example, when people get a tumor, and science doctors, they operate, they remove it, and 5 years later it comes back and kills them, this is the reason, because they did not change what they were supposed to change when they got it in the first place. Now, life-saving miracles happen when the consciousness decides that, actually, wait a minute, my avatar is starting to do some interesting stuff. Let's keep it alive. So that's where you get a miracle all of a sudden. And that's why I talked in one of my videos about the sharp turn, because when you do a sharp turn and you start a new kind of experience, your consciousness says, oh, wait a minute, maybe you got the message, right? That's why I also say, I tell people that even if somebody was told by the medical establishment that they have 1 week to live, if they can come up with something for their consciousness that will actually get its attention, something that they're going to say, I'm going to do this now, and the consciousness will like it, they will be saved, regardless of what the situation is. Another thing is that anything can be manifested except things that are forbidden by the rules, which I discussed in previous videos. But basically, anything can be manifested if you can manage to delegate it to your consciousness. Because the avatar can only execute physical stuff. You can have a cup of coffee, you can do this, you can go and work and make $1 million over 20 years. But if you want anything to happen which we consider not normal, you have to delegate it to your consciousness. And this is what in reality transurfing is called outer intention. Okay? All synchronicities and other unexplained phenomenon is also created by the consciousness. After death, the dream starts to fade away for the consciousness, and any parts remembered will feel like a previous life to the next avatar. Like, I want to run something by you which actually happened, and I don't want to say proof, because you cannot prove anything in this business. Nothing is provable. But two things that happened that actually support what I'm saying here. So I was once at a show with a hypnotist, And what he did, he put a sign that was, actually was a display that he could put any text or whatever on it, right? And then he hypnotized somebody and he asked him to read what's on that screen. And that was somebody from the audience. And of course, he could read what's on the screen, right? Then he asked another person to come and stand and block that the vision, like block that screen, so the hypnotized person could not see it. And he asked him what's on the screen, and he said, I cannot see. And then he told him, he said, the person that stands there is actually transparent. What's on the screen? And he read what was on the screen. Now, of course, you can say that this is, this is all fake, but I don't think it was. I think that the consciousness can actually see without eyes. And I'll give you another example. One of my best friends in Israel, he started to see really, like, with age, he couldn't read, he needed glasses and so on and so on. And he's very spiritual. We talk a lot about these things. And I said to him, I said, you should be able to see without your eyes. And actually, he closed his eyes and he could read. So, anyway, you do with it whatever you like. Now, in the next 9 slides, I will show you some practical ways how you can use this concept here on this slide in your life. Okay? So here we go. So this one here, this one is just a quiz that I would like you to answer or in the comments here on YouTube. Like, which one is the real you? Is it the avatar or is it your consciousness? Like when you say me, I, who is it? Which one of the two? Okay? I put here a hint. The reason you sleep is to give your consciousness a break from the avatar. Well, it is a hint, so think about it. All right. Sorry, I jumped from side to side, just there was no space on the slide. So in this one here, the more the avatar deviates from the center line, and in this case I use the center line as a normal life, and if you go up, it's positive events, and the higher you go, the more powerful they are. And at the bottom are bad experiences. Again, the lower you go, the worse they are. And the thing is that the more you deviate from that line up and down, the happier and richer your life. And the happier your consciousness is going to make you live longer. Okay? Now, here is something very interesting. In previous videos, I was showing you, I want to center myself in the video here. I showed you that line that I was drawing on, I think it was on an iPhone. I was drawing a line, and I told you that I don't really draw that line, but the computer in the phone draws that line. So if you look here, you can see that concept is that the line that goes up from you, from the avatar, to your consciousness is your contribution to the reality that you have. And what you get back from the consciousness is what you contributed. Of course, after the consciousness reworks it with your beliefs, with what's possible, what's impossible, and comes down as those 2 lines on the left, and this is your reality. And this is all real time, continuously. Now here is something extremely powerful, and I use it every day. When I talk to people who arrive at my website, talkforlife.com, and if you go there and you read the feedback, you will see that people say crazy things. Oh, you changed my life. You made my mom happy. You did this, or you did it. All these things, and the reason it happens is because when you communicate with somebody, another person, doesn't matter how, there is 2 channels of communication. Okay, there is the channel at the bottom, which is your physical connection. You stand and talk to somebody, they hear your voice, They see your face and you talk and they hear what you say and they answer, right? So this is that channel. But there is another channel, and that's a connection. It's an emotional, spiritual connection between the two of you. And you, if you think about somebody you love, when you look in their eyes, there is more than just looking at the eyes. You don't just see those eyeballs and that's that, right? Many people say, you can see the soul through the eyes and so on. So on that channel, you can actually create what you call miracles. You can change the reality for the person. You can heal the person. Everything that you do, which is not natural, the way we perceive it, is not happening through the physical connection. It's happening between the two consciousnesses, yours and the other person, okay? And like I said, I do it every day. Whenever I talk to people and they say, oh, something happened to me after I talked to you. I don't know what happened. It's really weird. It's because of that, okay? Now, here is another one, and you can test it and let me know if it works for you. I know it works for many, many people, works for me all the time, is when, let's say you have a boss who is always on your case and you hate that person, you always think about it, you wish them really harm and so on, and they are on your... If you change your attitude inside you, it doesn't have to be anything that you do to that person in the avatar level. If you just start to think positive thoughts about that person and find good reasons why they do what they do in a positive way, it will go up to your consciousness and it will go into their consciousness and it will come down where I say received there, and all of a sudden their attitude towards you will change dramatically. Try that. It's totally amazing. And the reason it happens is because of what you see there. Okay? Your feelings, your emotions, your thoughts always go to the avatar. To the consciousness. And the consciousness will connect to that other consciousness of that person, and they will feel really strange. And they will do something that doesn't make any sense, but they will do it. Because when the consciousness wants them to do something, they will do it. All right. So, as I said before, inner and outer intention here for the reality transurfing people is that when you execute something here at the avatar level, done here, it's called inner intention, okay? And it's limited to what you can do physically. But if you delegate it through your emotional connection, and that's why it says in the book that your heart and your mind have to be in harmony, because otherwise there's no connection there. The emotional connection happens only when you have the heart and the mind together, and then it becomes outer intention. And because the consciousness is out there, it has no limits. It doesn't have those four boundaries that we are in. Okay. Now, this is just something to reinforce the whole idea of the avatar and the consciousness. And what I'm trying to show you here is that actually, when you don that virtual reality helmet, right, then your avatar, which is now at the top here, become consciousness. It becomes consciousness. And you, in that virtual reality Oculus or whatever helmet, you become another avatar. So there is another level here, and it actually demonstrates very well what happens at the higher level, right? The difference here is that you, when you become the consciousness, you still are in that box with all the limits. But it's interesting that in many ways you become the consciousness for the avatar that's in the virtual reality machine. Okay, as I said before, once the avatar dies, you cannot create new experiences. You meaning the consciousness in this case, okay? You can only relive all the old experiences until you acquire a new avatar. Now, here is something totally new for this video, and let's give me a second here. And this has to do more with the future 2 videos, because that's really the main thing of the book. But the 7.8 billions, or whatever the number is of the consciousnesses, when you combine them, that's what God is today. It constitutes God. Okay, the 7.8 billion, when you take all the consciousnesses of all the humans in the world together, and they are together, it's just that you live in the illusion that you are separate, altogether it's God. But at this stage, that God has no head. So what I'm saying is, we are really the God altogether, and we decide the fate of this world. We can even create a climate crisis, and we really are doing things that in the old days only God could do, right? So in some ways there is no direction at this stage, and this is our problem. That's why we have so many issues and problems, because there is no head. Like, God is inside the consciousnesses, and he doesn't know that he is there. Okay? So what will happen when we awake God, call it will be up there, and it will be what we call a Godhead, and then there will be somebody in control. And how we're going to awake God, or call it whatever, the programmer or anything you like, is by taking the secret of creation that I'm talking about and bringing it from the avatar level to the consciousness level, because it was planted there to wake up God and create back that head. Okay? And that's why God said in the Bible, I will be what I will be, when the trigger is pulled. Okay, so here we are. I think that was quite heavy duty. And as I said, that was the first part of the book. There will be 2 more, and I think that in a space of 2 weeks or so, 3 weeks between the next 2. And I have a question for you. Just as usual, something to make you think. If you knew for sure that what I'm saying is true, that after you die, you will be able to only relive and reimagine, or no, actually relive, because it's very real, all your experiences from this life. What would you do different in whatever time you have left in this reality? If you knew that for sure, what experiences would you create so you can go later and relive them? Okay, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you. I'll probably make another 1 or 2 videos which are unrelated to the book, and then we'll come back to the book. So all the best, and see you in the next video. And as I said, and I always say, reach out to me. I like to hear from you. It was an amazing experience to get, I was close to 1,000 pictures from you guys. And it's very unusual for a YouTuber to actually meet the people that watch my videos. This is amazing. This is totally amazing. So thank you for that, and we'll see you next time.